Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. You joined me full of man flu with some maintenance to do on two of my biggest tanks, so I thought this was a good opportunity to introduce you to some new fish that we've picked up that I haven't really shown off properly on the channel, and talk about how to do all the maintenance tasks you need to do on these big tanks. I have a few larger tanks. This one's 8 foot by 4 foot by 3 foot. This one's 12 foot. There's a 7 foot one over there. And something that often crops up is, how do you find time to do the maintenance? How can you make sure you're giving them enough attention? And this is probably a good time to answer it, because when you're feeling under the weather, that's when you're going to slip. It has to be done. We have to do water changes. So this is the procedure. And that's it. It's overwhelming, isn't it? No, that is the key to managing all these tanks, is to make everything as simple as possible. All I've done there is turned on some water, which is fed by my HMA filter. This is a filter that takes all the nasties out of the water so it can go straight into the tank. It's hooked up to a shower valve, which heats the water up to the right temperature, and I'm not shocking the fish with different temperature of water. And it will overflow into a sump, which has a pump in it, which will pump out when it fills up too much. So it's not quite an automatic water change, but it's as near as damn it. Basically, I turn on the water, I leave it for an hour, I turn off the water, and we've done a big water change. Obviously, leave it running longer, do a bigger water change. When I come to do tank maintenance, it really is just a case of getting the scraper out, getting rid of any algae that we've got, but this tank is fairly mature now, so it really doesn't take much in the way of maintenance. And I will go around the bottom of the tank and scoop up any poops that I can see, which will go the same way as the overflowed water, just all go out to waste. And that's really it. It takes as long to do as it does to explain, really. Now this tank, obviously being 12 feet long, is a little bit more onerous. This is a bigger tank in as much as it's longer, but this actually holds about half the volume of the other tank. But the water changes on this one, done. This one, I don't leave it running quite as long. What we've got going on here is there is a pipe in the aquarium itself which is constantly holding siphon, and that valve there locks it off. When I open it, it drains water out to whatever level I decide. So sometimes I'll let it drop all the way down, do 10%, 20%, whatever it is that I want to do. And there is an automatic float valve in the aquarium which will automatically fill it back up again, using the same source of water, the same HMA, the same ease of use. I just drain it out a little bit, turn it off, and we're done. So it's two variations on a theme, really. That big tank, I put water in, which automatically overflows. This tank, I take water out and it automatically refills. I'm just trying to keep it as simple as I can, as foolproof as I can, because anyone who's been watching my channel for long enough will know that if given an opportunity to flood the place, I will flood the place. So that valve actually drains into a water butt down here, which also has a sump pump in it, so that fills up, pumps it out into some big IBC totes in the garden, and I use that to water the garden in the summer. In the winter, it just overflows. But that is essentially my drain for the fish room, so any water I want to get out of any tanks ends up in this water butt and gets pumped out to be reused somewhere else. Any tanks that don't have auto refills, I have this. This reaches across to every tank in the fish room and has a little float valve on the end, so I can attach this to any tank, take water out, get it into there, refill water back in, get it through here. And that does that with that nice HMA filtered warm water. And that is it, really. I mean, I might have a lot of tanks and some of them might be bigger than most people's normal tanks, but I don't think I spend any more time than anyone else on maintenance tasks. I do say within that, I'm mostly concentrating on water changes, because I think most things can be put off. If you're feeling a bit low, does it really matter if you haven't scraped the algae off the glass? Fine. Feed your fish, change your water, everything else can wait, really. And the secret is keeping it simple. Just keep it as simple as possible, and then you don't feel like it's a chore. Because when you feel like it's a chore, you start to lose the joy for it, lose the love for it, and stop doing it, and the fish end up paying the price. In terms of what's going on with all the tanks, really quite happy with it. This is Brian's tank, Briansville. Got Brian the silver dollars and an Oscar and a few other special fish in here. They all seem to be doing fine. There's no aggression problems. I'm kind of happy with everything. It worked. This is what I wanted to have, and this is what I got, and it worked as I expected, so happy with this one. This tank here, which is my Buddha tank, is going through a little bit of issues. So often when you get a new tank, you have a little bit of time before the balance settles in, and I think I'm still waiting for that to happen. But I'm also using these new Heuiger lights, which are fantastic but are very bright, and that is causing me some algae issues. So again, I'm just trying to find my rhythm with this tank and get things back into balance and make sure that I can get there. And it looks a bit ugly at the moment, but we'll get there, it'll be fine. I've noticed lots of breeding activity. There's lots of fish digging lots of caves. I've seen a few that look like they're holding in their mouths. I'm really happy with this choice of tank. I think it is, I don't know why I put it off so long. A lot of people said to me I should have got into African cichlids a long time ago, and I get it now. I should have done. They're awesome. Mega Tank 2, I've just completed my kind of quarterly big trim, where I've taken a pair of scissors to this tank and really attacked it. And I've got to say, I'm really quite happy with how I've taken down a lot of the lilies, so they're more like this now, and I'm trying to get them to stay bushier and smaller. So for instance, if you let all your lily pads get to the surface, they spend all their energy doing that. So if you cut them back a little bit, you can eventually train them to be like this. And the more often you cut them back, and that's where I've been a bit lax, the more often you cut them back, the more likely you are to get a bigger, bushier plant down here. But in terms of all the hygrophila, the Java fern, it's all filling out nicely and being quite structural. I really like my wall of giant val at the back. I've just clipped that all off. Loads more light getting in. Everything's just looking a lot nicer. And really happy with the growth. Things are coming back. We have the Tenulis down here, which is a plant I've always struggled with, but now that it's all died away and started to come back, it's looking really good. We've got a little crypt farm in the middle there, and all the fish are looking good. The fish is the main thing. You want your fish to look good, don't you? I do really love this tank. It's hard to film because it's so big, and you end up just swinging back and forth, but I'm really quite happy with all the inhabitants in here. It's a nice busy tank. It's got some nice big beautiful fish in, and lots of lovely small fish in it as well. So yeah, I'm really happy with how this is doing. Long may it continue. Underneath we've got the puffer tank, which you can see has still got some goldfish in because I haven't got around to moving them. But my Fahaka is in here again, fairly happy. He so far is fine with the goldfish. I don't know if I want to tempt that any further, but they were just in there to get rid of my duckweed problem. I could probably move them back out again. I'll need to get onto that soon. But the puffer's in there, he's doing well. This is also a little bit of a temporary holding tank for some of my plants. So I'm mid-tidy, but that's the thing that gets put on hold while I don't feel the best. And then down here, this is where I've ended up putting the Fluval Flex, the new Flex 2.0 with my Uegumi-ish aquascape. Really happy with this tank, how it's doing. The grass in the forefront has kind of died off a little bit, but if you've seen my previous videos you'll know why, because this tank's had 3 or 4 attempts at getting it right. But it's starting to come good and look good, and it's got all my nano-ish fish in it. And remember, if you want this tank, well, not this exact one, but I do have another one which I will be giving away soon. I will very soon, hopefully, be hitting 100,000 subscribers on the channel. So first of all, thank you to everybody who has hit that subscribe button, and if you hadn't, give it a little tickle at the moment, because when I get over the £100,000 line, we're going to give away one of those Fluval Flex 2.0s. Fluval kindly provided one, so I can give it away to one of you guys. If you do these 4 things, you have to subscribe to the channel, you have to live in the UK so as I can get it to you, you have to subscribe or follow me on Instagram, and then you have to turn up on the live stream after I get over the line. So I do a live stream every Friday at 9 PM. If you come along to them, come along anyway. I mean, you don't have to wait until that one. Come along anyway. We have some chat, some games, quizzes, all that kind of stuff. Be nice to see you there. But one of you will get a Fluval Flex 2.0. I might even come and give it to you and set it up for you. And then up here I've moved my plant tank, so this is my stock for my website. This is a good segue to this week's sponsor, me! Aquarium Adventures is sponsoring this video. I would love for you to go and check out my website. I sell plants, food, merch, random tat that I 3D print. You can get it all there. I'd love for you to go and check out some of that, and you can see all these plants are listed on the website. We've got much more than this is just some of them. Stock is constantly changing, and if you're interested in something that you can't get somewhere else, let me know, get in touch, and maybe I'll be able to source it for you as well. But yes, so we've got our planted tanks up there, plant holding tanks up there. I've got kind of shrimp and snail breeding tanks on this level. This is just to breed some snails that I can feed to the puffer, and then some shrimp that I have for a future project that we'll talk about later. And then the tank under that, which you probably can't see. This tank here is my pleco farm, pleco army, shall we say. This was from a recent auction. I decided I wanted a bit of a pleco army. I wanted to dip my toes into the world of plecos because we've got a few interesting ones around. But they do such a good job at cleaning up and keeping on top of things that it's always good to have them. So growing some out in there, hopefully getting some to pair off at some point too. And then this rack here on the bottom, again some more plants just in some totes. This tank here in the middle is tiger barbs and all that kind of stuff. Going to break this down and rescape this at some point, but I'm thinking of moving the tiger barbs over to this larger tank over here and setting them up in there. So that's a big Fluval Roma 125 I think, whereas this is about 80 or 90. So we'll get them a bit of an upgrade. And then we have the Shelleys above them. Lamparologus ocellatus. Again, lots of breeding behaviour going on here. I've not seen any babies in there, but the guys are doing well. Looking good. Aggression, not too bad. Doing what they do. A fantastic little fish. Love to spend some time just watching them. They're really industrious, really busy all the time. Kind of getting in amongst it and sorting out little squabbles all the time. It's really interesting to watch and see them do their thing. And then up top, another failed project. So this was the tank that what's in the Fluval at the moment used to be in here, but I cracked it. So I have resealed this tank, put in another false bottom, and we'll be having a second attempt at escaping that in my journey to become a professional aquascaper when I finally get back on the track for that. But that's just there for now until we sort that out. And then that just leaves Mega Tank, the OG Mega Tank, where the new fish are. Should we have a look? This is a Mega Tank. We've talked about this before. This is my first ever foray into the world of DIY tank building, monster tanks, monster fish, all those kind of things. The bass you'll have seen because they've been here for a while, but if you look closer you'll see some new fish. In particular this one here, which is a golden wolffish, and down there is a black wolffish, as well as Fred. This is Fred the flagtail. These are on holiday, shall we say. I'm fostering them for someone at the moment. So they're living here at the moment. They are doing really well. I've never been frightened of a fish before, but when you see the black wolffish up close, it's a little bit intimidating. But yeah, these all used to live in the same tank. I took the bass ages ago now, but went back and collected the rest of the fish. So they have all lived together at one point, so the aggression seems to be okay, he says, as one of them starts fighting. But as well as them in here, so we've got the flagtail, the two wolffish, there is a chocolate cichlid somewhere, he's hiding out over there, Oscars, catfish, black ghost knife. It's a really interesting tank. It's not necessarily a mix I would have gone with straight away. I wouldn't have thought these fish would all be perfect tank mates together, but it does seem to be working out quite well. The only problem I have at the moment is with feeding. And I'll show you for why. It's because this guy especially, so the big mono bass here, as well as the two azules, they've never been full. They've never met a meal they haven't thought, oh yeah, just a little bit more, I'll have a little bit more. Food that gets in, once it drops like an inch into the water, they're all over it, they go mental for it. So I'm having to use several different techniques to make sure everything else gets what it needs. Let me show you what I mean. So this time I've got some mussels, which they know, because they can see that. Cooked mussels, mind you, but sometimes But if I'm feeding pellets, I use this, which is a big long stick that I can stick into different areas of the tank and get past all the greedy buggers up at the top and just drop off pellets wherever I want them. Unfortunately, the two wolffish aren't particularly pellet trained yet. I am working on it, but for now, to make sure they get something, I give them a little bit of muscle meat. So generally how this works is I have to get this open. So it's a highly technical way of propping this open. Let's lift it up and stick a bit of wood there, which means if I just wave my hands over here, they try and kill me. But whatever I throw in here, these three will just go mad for. I don't even need to throw it, they'll just look at it. Normally it's a lot more explosive than that. So I've tried several techniques of feeding loads at once and seeing if some makes it down. It doesn't. Feeding selectively at one side and trying the other side. That doesn't work either. Feeding at night to see if they'll just ignore it at night. That doesn't work either. So what I have resorted to is some very big tongs and getting very wet. So I'll take one piece of muscle meat, for instance, in this hand, try and get down to the wolffish, we'll go for this one for now, while feeding a few other bits of muscle over there. But they've got wise to my thing now, so I try and drop that off and fend off all the other fish and see if they'll take it. But the wolffish are not the fastest of eaters, so if they don't take it straight away, they don't get it. So again, try a few more over there. Try and get to a wolffish and try and fend them off with the big long tongs. But 9 times out of 10, he just doesn't take it fast enough. And then that happens. So I persevere. I'm going to have the fattest peacock bass in the universe and the slimmest wolffish. They are getting some, so I don't know if I'll manage to get them to take any right now. But it's a slow old game as to whether or not they actually get anything. But for the bass, just imagine every fish was like that. That's kind of the feeding response you want from your fish. I did feed them all quite successfully yesterday, so they did have a few bits, so that's not too bad. Maybe they're just not super hungry, that's why they're not feeding super fast. Water parameters, all fine, so there's nothing going on there. They are fairly new to this tank. I've only had them a couple of weeks now, so there could be an element of that there. But yeah, I'm just struggling to get the amount of food into the two wolffish particularly as I can get into the bass. I'm sure it'll pick up. They have eaten little bits, so maybe one mussel in the last 3 days that I've tried to feed them. The rest of the fish are doing quite well with the pellet training. I can spot feed using the big tube that I showed you, and they will pick up most things, like the flagfish, fine. The Oscar gets in and bunks it when he needs to. The black ghost knife, the catfish, the chocolate cichlid, I can all kind of spot feed them with the tube method. It's just the two wolffish that aren't really getting it. But we will persevere. But, you know, if you have any ideas, let me know in the comments. All ears. So today's video was a little bit of a mishmash, just a general what's going on in the fish room and showing you some of the new fish and some of the new problems that we've got. As I say, if you have any ideas, get them down in the comments. Come and join me on a Friday night at 9 PM and tell me directly what you would try next. I don't think they're starving, so we don't have to worry about that. I'd like it if they fed a little bit more readily and maybe some techniques to get past the bass. Other than that, in the general, thank you to everyone who has supported me so far. I am pushing for that 100,000 subscriber marks. We're nearly there. If you wouldn't mind tickling that subscribe button, I'd be ever so appreciative. And remember, this video is sponsored by me, so go and check out the website. If there's any plants, any food, any kind of that stuff. There may even be a discount code on screen here, or there, or here. You know, for the first few days after this video comes out, if you're interested. that'd be lovely too. And if you fancy seeing some more videos about my mega tanks and some of the builds, they are available on the channel and will probably come up next as a recommendation. Go and watch them too. And if not that, I'll see you on Friday night at 9 PM UK time. I'll see you there. Bye bye.